Dudes are getting picked off. Like, they just start crying. Get it together, bro. Suck it up. You can take a blade and stick it in some flesh, but you're gonna have a hard time to go outside by yourself and pray? And he's like, do you mind if I pray for you? As soon as he put his hand on me and started praying, I lost it. I'm sitting in my car, straight up saying, hey, show me I'm saved. Show me I'm saved. I was getting aggressive. I was like, show me I'm saved. Like, I don't believe this crap. I'm like almost testing him. And I look over to the sign, and all I see is one word, saved. S-A-V-E-D.
How long did that go on for?
Quite a while. The drinking mixed with that stuff wasn't a great thing. And I don't know exactly when I quit drinking. I think it was after the cutting of the face thing happened, I pretty much had the ultimatum by my girlfriend at the time now, because she threw the ring back at me. Is she wanted me to go to this like Christian camp, which I didn't know was a Christian camp really. I mean, I kind of knew, but it just sounded like the way it was sold to me or told to me was, hey, it's a bunch of dudes, you do a bunch of shooting, a bunch of food, talk about some stuff. Like it's like a men's retreat. And I had no friends, so I was like, and it was kind of like, hey, you do this or else. Like this, there's no hope for us. I was like, all right, I'll do that. And because I'm in the middle of Tulsa by myself, I have her, kind of. And I was like, I'll go. But I didn't know, so this whole thing was called, it's based off of John Eldridge. I don't know, he's got a book called Wild at Heart. For the audience, if you have not read this book, you're a man, or even have a man in your life, highly recommend it. It's a great book for men, and it kind of tells us what we're supposed to be like. We're supposed to be the hero in the story, and it gives us great thing. And I'm hearing all this crap for the first time. I'm like, what the heck is going on right here? But when I go to this camp, dude, like I'm looking for alcohol. Like surely there's like some wine or beer. Like looking for coolers. I open the coolers, freaking sodas, water. I'm like, what? So like already I'm like, this sucks. So I'm sitting down, you get like your little lawn chairs, like in this open like conference area. You put your little chairs down and you got a big screen. And they kind of go into it. So it's like 3 days. Get there on a Thursday and you're done by like Sunday afternoon. And the first thing, it kind of like, it goes into like father wounds, how we're the hero. We're built as men to rescue the princess. Like it's in our DNA. And he kind of, John Eldridge is like on the screen saying this. It was done through another satellite like church out of Oklahoma City, but it was via Colorado where John Eldridge was. And I'm like, this is so dumb. I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, this is ridiculous. And he said something that really kind of like, it really got me, kind of hit home a little bit. And I'm a big movie buff. Like when we go to deployment, we're watching nothing but movies, series, movies. Like we've got to memorize. Like we're the douchebags with the quotes, right? Like, what movie is this from? Like that's just what we do. I still talk in quotes. It's ridiculous. And my wife looks at me like I'm a moron, and she's right. But he said if you think about movies, he's like, it's built in our DNA. Movies have three elements that is in every movie. There's a hero, there's a villain, and there's a love story. And right now, people as they are listening, are like trying to think of movies, and you can't think of any. Finding Nemo all the way to 300. There is those three components in there.
Yeah.
There is the hero, there is the villain, and there is a love story. And he takes that and he says that's exactly what the Word of God, the Bible is. There's Jesus, there's Satan, and it's God's grace that we're going for. It's that love, it's that heart. He wants to love us. He wants to be loved back. And he said that, and I'm like, and I was really more hung up on the movie thing. I'm like, that is so true. And he's like, the Bible's all around you. We just don't realize it. Like it's in every single movie. It's the same thing, different characters. And so they use, because they're trying to hit home to men to like stand up to be more manly and to like stand up for the right and lead your family, which we have a hard time in this country, probably across the globe. And looking at me with my children, he was right. I wasn't a leader. I was a failure. I was not doing the right things. I mean, was it right to stand up to take care of those kids? Yeah, but I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I wasn't leading by example. I was leading by talk, which is BS. And so he teaches that, and he shows movies like Braveheart, William Wallace. He had a villain, like the English, right? He was the hero, saved the Scots. And it was a love story in that movie. Love for the country, love for the woman. The Patriot, Last of the Mohicans, all the Gladiator. We can see it in everything. And I was like, okay, I'm here. This is actually kind of cool. What's this? I'm going to give it 100%. So we kind of go into this stuff, and they have classes throughout the day. And I just noticed as these classes go on, there's probably like, I'd say about 100 people from the age of like 16 to like 70, of like just men, boys, whatever you want to call them. And I just start noticing every class, like dudes are getting picked off. Like they just start crying. And I'm like, get it together, bro. Like there's other dudes around. Like suck it up, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you were taught. That's how I was taught. Like, suck it up. What are you doing? And I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And I didn't like shame on you. It was more like, what's happening? I don't have what that is. What is that? And so at the end of, I remember our end of our first course, it was the first class or the second class. They're like, all right, they give you some questions to like think about. So you kind of ask yourself like, hey, please take your notebook and your pen and these questions and just go find a place outside and, go pray and write down these answers. And I heard the word pray. And remember, if we go back to childhood, like this stuff is kind of like coming out. It gets me every time I talk about it. And I was like, man, like you pose, and I'm talking to myself here. You pose and act like you're a man. You can go overseas and face evil and take it to them. You can take a blade and stick it in some flesh, but you're going to have a hard time to go outside by yourself and pray. And I had that conversation with myself. And I was like, self, you're right. So I went out there. I found a little like outcropping of some rocks. And like the sun just wasn't up. It was like early. We got up like at 6:30 or whatever. And I sat down. I said my first words to God.
Ever?
I mean, minus the, please don't let me die on this op tonight as we fly in, or I'm getting shot at as I'm trying to be as low as possible as bullets skip over my head. Yeah. Ever. I wouldn't call that, hey, God, that's
without
like,
fear.
I need a handout.
You're talking to him.
I was talking to him like he was my father. This gets me, man. This gets me. And I just started talking. I was like, I don't know you. I was like, you know my past. You know how you scare me. And soon I'm saying whatever the heck I'm saying, not even know what I'm saying, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter what I was saying. The sun breaks the top of the trees in this warm, because it was chilly. This warm sunbeam just nails my face and just warms my whole body. It just warmed, like right when I started talking to him, like maybe a couple sentences in. And I was like, oh my God, it's like I got zapped through my whole body. And I chalked it up to as a coincidence. Of course, I mean, it's at the right time, at the right angle. Sun, comes up in the east, that's in the west. I mean, that's just happened to be here. And that was it. That's all it was. And I say all this in hindsight, knowing now everything. And I go back in, I do my thing, I write it down. But something was stirring inside me. And I was curious. I was curious to see what these guys are crying about. I was like thinking about all my past. I would always think about why I took my hand off Louis and went around that corner. I wanted answers. I needed answers. And I wasn't going to find answers from any human on this earth. I know that. And
Hey folks, our friends at Tractor Supply have always stood for community, for neighbors helping neighbors, and for the people who keep life out here moving forward. And at the heart of every community are the heroes who serve, the veterans, active duty military, first responders, and the families who stand beside them. These are the folks who answer the call, who protect, who sacrifice. And Tractor Supply believes that that deserves more than just a thank you. That's why they created the Hometown Heroes program. It's their way of giving back in meaningful, everyday ways. As a hometown hero, you'll enjoy special perks through Neighbors Club, like earning rewards on every purchase, free trailer rentals and delivery, and exclusive savings on holidays that honor your service. And the best part? Once you sign up and verify through ID.me, it's automatic. No hoops, no hassles. So if you or someone you love is a hometown hero, visit tractorsupply.com/hometownheroes to learn more. It's Tractor Supply's way of standing behind those who always stand for us.
I started going through more courses, more classes, more going outside praying, trying to get better at it. But, I know for me personally, we always think that there's like, oh, you got to do it this way. This is the wrong way. That's not it at all. Just like talk. Just talk. God knows your heart, man. And once I learned that, it's like it just came. It just flowed. And but I thought there was like, oh, step 1. Okay, step 2. Now that you're clear, go step 3. And that's a bunch of BS. And I started just seeing guys throughout the weekend get taken out and taken out and taken out. And then guys were like, man, I pray for you. And I didn't tell anybody this, but in my head, I was like, I really want someone to put their hands on me and pray for me. Like, I want someone to pray for me. This weekend changed my life. I don't know why I wanted someone to pray for me. All that crap. Never thought I could be forgiven, forgive of your sins. I'm like, man, I've killed more people. I've done things that most people don't even dream of, think of, can't even concoct in their brain. I've done it. From booze to women to pills to killing, gun, knives, grenades, explosives, nothing, anything and everything, all of it. I'm like, there's no way you can forgive me. And I wanted someone to pray for me. And the last night of this thing, nothing's happening to me, really. I mean, a little bit of something, but nothing monumental. At the end of the they have the bonfire, and like they give you this like little Post-it note, like, hey, the things that you want to get rid of, write down what you want to get rid of. And I was like, this Post-it ain't gonna do it. I need like a legal pad with like 100 pages. So I'm like, give me some more of those Post-its. So I'm putting down, I wanted my drinking to go away. I wanted my anger to go away. I want a direction on how to be a good father. I didn't want to be a slave to watching porn on the freaking internet. I wanted to be there for my family. I didn't want to be absent. I wanted peace in my brain from the stuff that we went through overseas. I wanted clarity on my future. I just want to be a better man. I'd be happy with that. And, you get around this, you get a bunch of these dudes around the fire, and you got your little piece of paper, and everyone goes around, which I didn't know, and you say what you want to get rid of. You don't have to. But about halfway through, I got up and, I said my thing and I got choked up. I got really choked up and I threw it in the fire. And it felt good. It felt good. And I'm like, it's still in my head. I'm just like, this is stupid. It's a piece of paper, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's going to change. Questioning everything, testing everything, not believing anything. But there was still just something tugging on my heart. There was just something very small, just tugging on me. Enough to keep me engaged. And I was walking away from the fire when everyone went. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Like, I just want to be alone and just go do something, go to bed, whatever. I had no Mucinex, had no alcohol. Like, how do I do this? And this guy comes up to me, young guy. I think I was 32 when this all happened. He was 26. His name, Kyle Thompson. He actually has a podcast, Undaunted. And he came up to me. He's like, hey, dude, that was really cool what you said. And I was like, thanks, dude. And he's like, do you mind if I pray for you? This dude came up to me. I was probably 230, tattoos. I was a big boy. He was not. He was younger. And he had the balls to come up and do that. And that right there is obedience. I've seen many men that you can just see them like they're intimidated just to have a conversation from one human to another. I'm not just saying me, but with many people. Just because of, he was in this movie or he's a UFC fighter. Whatever it is, you're still human. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But he did not. He came up and he did that. And as soon as he put his hand on me and started praying, I lost it. It was starting to make sense. It was all making sense to me. And so I talked to him for about an hour, 2 hours. At the end of that night, went to bed. And the next day was Sunday. And we had they played worship music, but not like kind of like rock, And they played it every day. And it's been like, okay, can we please turn this crap off so we can get on with this so I can get the heck out of here? For some reason, man, I'll never forget the song. I had to look it up. It was by Matt Redman, 10,000 Reasons. It was playing, and the beat of that song and the words of that song rocked my body. It was different. Something changed. Something changed. Internally. I would say I don't know how, but I do know how. It just changed. And I felt different. And I started to smile. When you're a kid, you do something you're not supposed to do. And you're down on yourself. And your mom or dad or a family member or maybe even a close friend comes up to you and embraces you or just kind of pat you on the head and say, hey, man, it's okay. It's all right. We all make mistakes. That's what God did to me. Right then and there. That's what he did to me. I could feel it. And still, being the hard-headed SOB I am, it's probably another coincidence. Maybe I really like this song. It's like, dude, when do you get it? So I'm just jamming out to the music and it's just it feels good. So I'm like, dude, I'm like, put my arm up. I'm like, man, this is just insane. And I was moved. I was moved internally. I felt different. And so at the end, they kind of thank some of the presenters, some of the guys that give some of their speakers, some of the guys that share their testimony. Because some of the testimonies, man, they're like, hey, dude, I cheated on my wife. I did this. And they open up. They're very real. And I appreciate that. And I think that that conference kind of made me who I am now, where I'm not afraid to be real, and I will be transparent because all of us go through something, some degree. It might not look the same. It's a different flavor for all of us, but we're going through some stuff. We're all going through some stuff, some way, shape, or form. Relationship, work, health wise, we're all going through some stuff. But they did that. But they were saying thank you, and then one of the things is like they said we wanted to recognize the guy that we think did the most change. And I was like, well, that's not going to be me because I haven't really talked to anybody and all that stuff. So I'm like, just waiting to listen. And like Eddie Penny, they called my name. And I was like, wondering if I'm that guy. So I go up on stage and they're like, hey, we can tell a change in you.
Wow.
I always explain stuff like this, man, when we don't really know what's going on. Like, if you can imagine two boxers in the ring fighting each other, they're looking head on, chest to chest. This is my vantage point, right? Mm-hmm. The coach and the fans, they can see looking in, right? They can see, they have a bigger picture. I just have this. And that's kind of what happened that conference is, I guess they saw something that I didn't think I was doing or feeling or acting. And they gave me this pin. It was made out of an olive tree from Israel. And it had like a cross on it. And I carry that pin with me everywhere. And I started crying right there on stage in front of all these men. And I didn't care. I didn't care. I was about 80% sure that I found God. I'm like, okay, wow. Like, so this is real. This is real. And I think back to things like Adam said and other guys that I deployed with. And I'm like I start to see it. I start to see these deployments. I start to see certain things, why this happened versus this. I start to see my life experiences, why. I'm getting the why answered. Get in the car, drive back to was getting a ride from my girlfriend's brother, same one, that took me. He took me back to Oklahoma City to get my truck, and I drove from Oklahoma City back to Tulsa. And I called my girlfriend at the time / fiance, maybe depending on the day. And I called her, and I tried to explain the weekend. And I couldn't talk. I just started crying. I'd cry 15, 20 minutes. I haven't cried like this. I mean, I stuffed it for decades. I thought I was good. I'd call back. I say a couple words, I'd start crying again. I have to call you back. I couldn't even muster the words. And I tried this throughout, and then finally I'm like, hey, I'll just talk to you when I get home. Like, I just got that out real quick, and I hung up the phone because and I started crying again. I cried pretty much the whole drive home. I just didn't understand. But in that moment, I felt so loved. Like, I just felt so loved. And I'm like, all those things that I'd hear, or I call you a crazy Christian, or you Bible thumper, or all these things. It was making sense. It was just making sense to me. It was just, I could feel it inside. And so I get back, I tell her about the whole weekend, and supposedly she went up to St. Louis with her friend, and she had no intention of coming back. I guess when she was out there, she went out to a bar, and she was sitting on some couches, and a fight broke out. And some dude got pushed into her, knocked her off of her couch, like knocked over the couch. And I guess she got some kind of something. And it's like, I shouldn't be here. And her friend like drove back that night. And she told me that. She's like, I had no intentions of continuing this relationship after this weekend. She's like, I wanted you to go just to help you. And so we worked, and I think that's when I decided to quit drinking. I quit for a while. But it wasn't, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days later. I'm in my car driving from a workout or something. And I pull up to this red light, just turns red. There's like this car wash over to the side. And they have one of those like blinking signs, like the red, where like it flashes like save 10% or, buy a car wash and come back in a week for a free one. And I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, show me. I'm like, I just straight up saying, like, show me I'm saved. Show me I'm saved. And I was getting aggressive. I was like, show me I'm saved. Like, I don't believe this crap. I'm like almost testing him. And even though this happened, like that can be explained. This can be explained. This can be explained. Like, show me I'm saved. Because I'm like, I've done this and I'm crying at this red light and I'm talking. If anybody's, parked next to me at this red light, they're going to be like, this guy's loony. Probably should call the cops before he kills us or himself. And I look over to the sign and all I see is one word. Saved. SAVED. That's it. One word. It wasn't save 10%. It wasn't pulling now to save $2. It just said saved.
That's incredible.
I saw that. And I'm like, I'm yours. I'm like, sold.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.